To a Democrat, there's no difference between a paycheck and an unemployment paycheck. They both deliver money into someone's pocket. As long as they're getting a check, the unemployed should just shut up and be grateful to stay at home. After all, jobs are just inconvenient and demeaning. You must get to work on time. Boring, repetitive is the order of the day, and most jobs come with a boss who enjoys belittling people. And hey, demand remains robust anyway, because everyone's pockets jingle. No harm, no foul. They look at these checks through the same altered reality they see so many things. Daddy paid their way through life with endless guilt and responsibility-free checks. What's your problem? Do you remember not too long ago when being prepared, or being a prepper, was a redneck hillbilly thing to do? Boy, how a pandemic can change things. The world we live in today is chaotic to say the least, filled with a flood of information that's often as much gossip as fact, making it hard to know what the real situation is, and making it easy for people to panic and make bad decisions. The only way to not get caught up in that chaos is to have a plan and be prepared. This allows you to avoid dealing with empty store shelves, long lines, and in the worst case, desperate people. Why not use today to prepare? A great place to start is storing food in your home from people you can trust. I'm prepared and ordered even more recently. Now, unlike 3M with their face masks, My Patriot Supply ships on a first-come, first-served basis. They have since around the end of January. Their food kits last up to 25 years. Their 2-week kits provide over 1,500 plus calories per day. Their foods are grown, processed, packed, and shipped in the United States from one of their 4 large facilities. The experts at My Patriot Supply have told me that orders have now reached about 100 times normal volume. And as I said, they're shipping on a first-come, first-served basis. With this unprecedented emergency, orders are being delayed, sometimes 8 weeks or more. I urge you to add your order to mine today. So take action, that way you're ready for what's coming, and save $70 on a 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithresurgence.com. Those that know what's coming are preparing today. Go to preparewithresurgence.com. That's preparewithresurgence.com. Democrats who have never held a private sector job can't fathom the implications of their policies. Sure, they mingle with the private sector daily, but it remains as foreign to them as attending one of those nasty public schools. They fail to understand that the public sector can't create wealth. Wealth is created in the private sector, all of it. The private sector is the golden goose that provides the fuel for government, but clueless Democrats want to assassinate the goose anyways. Government people forget that the private sector jobs produce something society actually wants. It's a law of economics. Otherwise, there's no income to pay workers. When people no longer go to their jobs, stuff doesn't get made, stuff doesn't get done, and stuff spoils. Supply chains break, so crops and livestock get discarded. Crucial supplies run short. Entertainment dries up. Dining out becomes a wistful memory. We all look scruffy without haircuts, manicures, and dry cleaning. Society doesn't get the stuff its members need and want. The longer the lockdown endures, the more public demand goes unfulfilled. Our current dilemma is not just lost production and a national debt blowing through the ceiling. Staying holed up in our home extinguishes hope and makes the future look bleak. The best preparation for a better job is working any job today. If we stay in lockdown, our future dims. How can it be otherwise when our life consists of bouncing against the walls of our home? Beyond boredom, you're dependent on an allowance you have no control over. You're at the mercy of others, and once they've crushed your spirit, they're merciless. It would come as news to Democrats that money doesn't just grow on a printing press. If Bitcoin can be created out of whole cloth, why not dollars? Inflation? Not a problem. To Democrats, too many dollars chasing too few goods is just capitalist propaganda. But to keep inflation at bay requires not only a steady money supply, but also non-stop production of goods and services. Democrats are paying productive members of society to stay away from their jobs. Disequilibrium between supply and demand will soon cause havoc. In the back of their minds, Democrats have an inkling that government revenue in some manner depends on the private sector. They don't really understand the relationship because government employees pay taxes as well, and heaven knows there's plenty of them about. But it's starting to sink into bureaucrats' heads that tax revenue are spinning down the toilet. The first reaction is to demand that the federal government make them whole. After all, Nancy controls the purse strings. When that fails, and it will, they'll raise taxes. Democrats are in for a big disappointment when they discover you can't get blood out of a turnip. They impoverish the plebeian class, and a ratchet up in rates won't matter. A greater percentage of nothing is still nothing, but to a Democrat, that's higher math. At some point, states and locales controlled by Democrats will become desperate, and they'll finally loosen the reins on the lockdown. Except, surprise, the jobs won't come bouncing back. Jobs are not happenstance. People create jobs, real people willing to take a risk for the chance to live their dream and rake in the rewards of success. Most of these dreamers run small businesses, and most Americans work at a small business. By the time Democrats lighten up, small entrepreneurs will be penniless and disillusioned. Why the hell would they re-experience this level of heartbreak? Why work your butt off if the government can suddenly rip it all away? Our lovely government turned the American dream into a cruel nightmare. Instead of rehiring workers, many will sit out the next cycle. Democrats say we're non-essential, but how can every single government worker be essential? How does that make sense? And when is a paycheck ever non-essential? When you're rich and have government guaranteed pay? All of those in the cradle of comfort tell us our sacrifice is for the public good. They're wrong. The public good has been irrevocably harmed. Jobs are important for the provision of goods and services, feeding families, societal mobility, mental health, tax revenue, national security, and the preservation of life for the needy and unhealthy. If the big box retailers can protect their workers, then so can the rest of us. We need to reopen our economy now. Business is the lifeblood of our American economy. Treat every job, every worker, every business as essential, because they are. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everybody for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.